yọ̀ máa jó nínú ọdún yìí o ẹ ó yá ayọ̀ ìṣẹ́gun ẹni ọdún bá láyé kí ló wá ṣe tó lè mú jójó. Mo kí gbogbo yín pé ẹ kújọ́ mẹ́ta o. Ẹni tí ó ń kọrin tẹ́ ń gbọ́ òun ni màmá D.A. Fashion ọdún lọ sókun by the grace of God leader Good Women Choir CAC Ìbàdàn. Mo fẹ́ rọ̀ yín pé látòní lọ kẹ́ máa gbọ́ Wells Radio kànga agbọ́nmàgbẹ́ 89.3 FM ìkànnì tó kún fún ọgbọ́n ìmọ̀ àti òye. Ní kẹ́ máa yí rédíò yín sí o, ẹ má yí kúrò ń bẹ̀ o, ẹ sì gbádùn Ọlọ́run. Ẹni tẹ́ ń gbọ́ òun ni màmá D.A. Fashion ọdún lọ sókun àlàáfíà fún yín. Nínú ọdún yìí o ẹ ó yá ayọ̀ ìṣẹ́gun.
Hello, welcome to 60 Minutes with Femi and Remi. It's another Tuesday, and we are here to have another business and life conversation. Our guest is in the house. Aderemi will be introducing him shortly. My name is Adefemi Davis. In case you're joining us for the first time, 60 Minutes with Femi and Remi is a business and life conversation. It's a business and life show that will be bringing in guests to come and share their experiences in business and in life. I'm going to let Aderemi introduce our guest.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good day. Thank you for joining us. I'm Opeyemi Davis, as mentioned, and we're glad to be here. And thank you for joining us today on this episode. So today we have a tech boss in the building. Oh, I wish we had all those drum roll sound effects. We just go, 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 go. We have a tech boss in the building, Mr. Opeyemi Paul Adekunle. He's the MD CEO of One App Technologies, and he's in the sports right now. That place where people are chopping money. Where the world is right now. That's where our guy is. The fintech aspect of the fintech sector, and that's a very, very major sector right now. The world is going all tech, and we are so glad to have such a strong man with us here to share with us today. I would let him introduce himself. Maybe there are some things that we do not know that I would like to tell us. Mr. Opeyemi, welcome to 60 Minutes with Femi and Remi.
Yeah, thank you so much with the introduction, Mr. Remi. It's the only part I want to correct there is when you guys say that the money-making people is we in the fintech. We are not the only one making. We are not even the one making the biggest of the money.
Wow.
We are just managing money. So we just manage money, and I think for us it's just an opportunity for us to use tech to help people to solve the critical problem that we have in this country around finances. So that's it basically. My name is Opeyemi Paul, as I rightly mentioned, and I'm a software developer with over 10 years of experience developing for people, enterprises, and what have you. Before I started my own tech enterprise.
Now, let me ask you, why financial technology? Why not architecture? Why not building design? Why not civil engineering? Why financial technology?
Yeah, I think it actually the motivation is actually to be something that works for me.
Mm.
So I we started with an ed tech actually. We
Okay.
built an app that people that want to write Jam will be able to use to practice for Jam, an
Okay.
100% replica of Jam. The platform got some award, including that of Microsoft, John Agar
Wow.
Award, and the
Wow.
likes.
That's amazing.
So in the course of doing that, we started helping people to build their own solutions and all of that. As a software developer, I have a number of clients that comes to me with one problem or the other, and I found out that okay, one of the major challenges, most people don't have a single platform to manage a number of some of these things.
Mm.
That's why we come up with okay, how about I have a platform where we can actually do payments without having to visit people. I mean, visit stores, all these places where people used to buy recharge card airtime. So that's what we started with, and from there we grew up to becoming another payment gateway. Now to not be a bigger platform where people can connect to access financial services.
That's
Yeah.
impressive.
That's very impressive. So, how has the terrain been so far navigating that aspect, especially considering Nigeria, the peculiarities of our
Of doing
environment?
business in this country.
Or
Actually,
okay, before we go there,
yeah.
let me say, what was the reception like for you when you started?
Mm.
One up, and consider the fact that you started from the city of Ibadan. Most people will expect that this kind of
Things
business,
should come
everything
from
comes from
Lagos.
Lagos. So starting from Ibadan, deciding to build your physical presence, your infrastructure here in Ibadan, what was it like? What was the reception like generally, and how did you navigate that aspect?
Actually, you see, one good thing about tech, let me answer the last question first,
Mm.
is that either you are here in Ibadan or in Lagos,
Mm.
you definitely don't need your customers to just be in Ibadan.
Okay.
Yeah, as it
True.
is right now,
True,
I
true.
think when we started in 2019, one of the good thing for us is that we got this welcoming, we got people to love our products right from the first
Okay.
month.
That's
We
nice.
got a whole lot of customers downloading the app, doing transactions. We have very good number of transactions from the first month.
Mm.
Wow.
So it really gave us a sign that okay, we are doing the right thing. So from there, what we used to do then is now what we do daily,
Mm.
within a few hours actually. So it's actually a very lovely one for us, and I would say that because it's tech firm, we don't necessarily have to have all our customers in Ibadan. We don't even.
Yes, yes.
Mm. It's a
So
global economy.
It's a
yeah,
yeah.
so we have a lot of our customers in Lagos, in Abuja, in the northern part of the country. We have them scattered all over the country actually, and we don't have all of our staff, all the people working in the firm in Ibadan. We have the higher percentage here, about 80 to 90%. We have others too. We have some people working with one app in Abuja. We
Oh,
have some
wow.
other people working with one app in Lagos,
Mm.
and there's another person outside of the country.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
yeah.
That's good. Did you have a perception problem when you started? By perception, I mean, did you see signs that some people had doubts about trusting you with their money?
Okay. Till today, people still have issues trusting anybody with money. So I think for us, what we do have an issue is to make sure that we deliver on our promises.
Mm.
You see, one thing I've seen about business is that your product will sell itself. So if I use your product today and I'm able to get what you promised me, we want to do more.
Mm.
The moment I couldn't get the first one that you promised, then I stop.
Mm.
So that's what we have leverage on currently.
Integrity.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. And so now, as we've mentioned, how it doesn't really matter your location as a
Yeah.
fintech company, but however, let's say physical location, but then you are operating in a terrain which is called Nigeria, and of course, beyond. While we may say you don't, it's a global audience, it's a
Mhm.
global market for
Yeah.
you. I feel like you are still under a lot of regulations
Mhm.
that are
Yep.
basically a Nigerian factor, a
Mm.
Nigerian thing. The ecosystem, the financial ecosystem in Nigeria,
Mm-hmm.
and then other
The
factors,
bureaucracy.
the bureaucracy.
Yeah.
How has it been navigating that? How do you interface with those key factors, CBN? and all the other things that are involved?
Okay, that's actually a very big one to answer, in all honesty, because having to do business in Nigeria comes with its own good part and the bad part. Because,
Okay.
but obviously, we have been built for it. You are born here, you grow up here, you know what you face growing up. So, in a way, Nigeria was a developer who got its keen to challenges. So, when we started out, some of our challenges is having people just walk into our office with one letter or the other. We want to collect this tax, we want to collect that. Some we don't even understand what it is. One day somebody came to our office and just brought a letter. They said security levy. We are like,
Wow.
we are paying for our own security. We have our own. This guy's the night guard. We have all of
Yes.
those things. So what are we paying this security level for? We have a police station in front of our office. When there was an issue, the police asked us to go and get a night guard. You can
Okay.
imagine that.
Can you
So,
imagine?
and afterwards, local government still brought a letter and said security levy. It was absurd. So a number of times, what we do, we just attend to them, have a discussion. You know, in Nigeria, one thing anybody must know if you want to do business is you must be ready to have conversation with people. You can't just say, okay, we are going to pay every money they ask you to pay. They are going to. You have to sit them down and say, okay, this is what we are doing. This is what who we are, and all of that, and we are able to resolve some of them. And also, I should mention that with regulators, I think for them, they just wanted to do the right thing. You
Okay.
do the right thing, you will be fine. So that's the thing for us. So a number of time when we are working with them, when there's any challenge, we reach out to their compliance team. They tell us, okay, this is what we are expecting from you guys. We make it happen for them, and we are always good with them. You understand? So, but generally in Nigeria, the other part that we can look at will be maybe the resources that should be available, like power. For
Yeah.
us now,
I was going to come to that actually. I was going to come to because I mean you have an infrastructure that you have to be
247
247 online, and I can imagine how has it been? What's your major source of power currently?
If we should talk about power, the next 1 hour,
We're not gonna finish.
sincerely. So, but you know, one thing for us is that since we know this is a critical part of our business, we have to invest heavily in it, and that's why in our office we invest in green energy.
Okay.
So, in our former office, we still use Gen, but when we moved to this place, since 2019, we started green energy. So we have a lot of solar panels that generate electricity for us for 7. Because we can't actually go out of power.
You cannot
We can't.
afford to.
You can't.
So we have like 3 sources of this same green energy in the office. So when one is done, and that takes over, and they like right now we don't even use any gen.
Wow.
We don't. So it's either it's power or the green energy, the solar system.
That's really that's amazing.
I've seen large solar installations, but largely outside Nigeria, and I always had this fear that could green energy be used at on a grand scale in a country like Nigeria. And now that you're mentioning this, I think it's an eye opener for so
Yeah.
many people, right?
Yeah.
Because the cost of diesel is scary, and it's nice to see that alternative sources of energy are becoming readily available. Do you think Nigeria, now let me take you outside the fintech space, do you think Nigeria will someday get to that point where everyone will be able to have 24 hours electricity? It could be devoid of government, right? I mean, you're doing yours now, and it's not a government project. Do you think someday, or if you were to revisit, at what point do you think Nigeria would have 247 electricity?
I think the question should be two. One, is it possible? Because, and are we also willing to actually make it work? If it's the first question, or if it's possible, I believe it's possible. I was in Kenya a few months ago, and throughout my stay in Kenya, there's no time there's power out.
Wow.
The only time we didn't have power is when the power on our own meter was exhausted. When they charged it, the light was back on. They don't have in the building I stayed. They do not have a staircase. It's a lift, elevator. So in my head, I was imagining you don't dare do this in my country.
Wow.
Because look at our cocoas, you have to have the
Yeah,
because
just
when
in
there's
case.
no elevator, you
You
use
have to
the
use the stairs.
stairs, right? So I think it's possible. It's very possible. If other African countries, we have not talked about outside of Africa now.
Yeah.
If they can have 247 power, we can have it in Nigeria. So back to the second question, are we ready to do it? So that's back to our guy at the top. It's not, it's not for us. But I feel we are getting to a point where everybody should start demanding this.
Yeah.
Because
very true.
the cost of running solar, running gen, every other alternative source of power is too much.
It is.
If when businesses put this cost on people, people suffer. Because at the end of the day, if my cost of running any operation is X amount, I'll be at the X amount to the cost of the product. So that's largely for me a more reason that for government to step in, actually make this happen. If it is for us to go nuclear, let's do it. If it's for us to expand our dams and all of that, let's do it. Let's give people more power, especially those that need it. I've had conversation with some of the top guys, and they mentioned that some people say they don't need this power, so I don't know about that.
Wow.
They said in some states they said they don't want the power, but people in Oluyole want power.
Yeah.
Of course.
People in Ibadan, people in Bodija, they want power. If you come to me today and say, okay, we're going to give you 247 power and this is the amount you're going to pay, I would prefer it.
Of course.
Nobody likes the alternative power noise and the disturbance,
Yeah,
the maintenance
very true.
costs.
Very
Nobody
true.
wants it. So,
I was going to ask that same question. That now, now that you have been able to get to that point where you develop a system where you work largely on solar,
yeah.
and of course you also probably at some point run on generator.
Yes.
I was going to ask now, how do you comparing both?
Yeah.
What will you say is the difference? Do you think now that you are on full solar, do you think compared to running on gen, is it cost effective compared to generators?
To me, it's not just cost effective, it is mental health effective. Yes, anything good like that. Because you can't imagine the noise of generators. When people in our area still put on gen, I even get angry like, why is this the I don't want to hear this noise again. That's one, the cost of usual maintenance. You don't get to reply for the past 3-4 years we've been using our solar system. We do not have any cost of repair.
Wow.
We just call those guys, they put water, they are gone.
Wow.
They didn't have to change anything.
Wow.
So I think basically it's a lot more cost effective and it even give you peace of mind. You know you will always have power. The generator can easily fucked up and they are calling your engineers to come and fix it and all of that. For us it's been the best. It's been the best decision.
That's amazing. Now, the tech space, of course, there's something that was good. Okay, so I've been thinking about the fact that this jackpot thing, I feel one of the things that jackpot did to us, because nobody's talking about the brain drain. You know, I remember when we were in secondary school, when we were in primary school, there was that I can't remember which course, which topic, maybe social studies, but brain drain was one of the challenges of mass migration.
Yeah.
But no, it's like that. That terminology is no longer, nobody's talking about it. And that's what is happening to us now. We are losing the best hands, the hands in medicine, hands in tech, and so now you in the tech space. How has it been? What did you have you experienced that part where, maybe some of your best hands leaving? Do you think is true? Is it true? That statement, is it true? Is it an existential problem?
Yeah, it is actually. It is actually. It's glaring to all of us. So, brain drain is something that's happening and it will keep happening. And I will put it in two forms. One is that the people that leave the country entirely to look for greener pastures. Because what you were doing in today's world, if you ask me today, you'd be like, really, Nigeria, So that's one. The second part is people in Nigeria that decide to work for clients outside and not for the indigenous one. That's another part that we're not talking
remote.
Remote.
Wow.
We're not talking about that
That's
a lot.
true. Nobody's talking about
A number of people out there working from their house, they don't want to work with Nigerian firm
Wow.
because they believe they be paid more with clients and companies outside of the
Foreign currency.
foreign countries. You understand? So that's it's something very glaring to us. If you go to banks today, they don't have the best of hands there. We had an issue recently, and I called one of the guys, and he said the guy that used to do it before has left.
Wow.
So they couldn't even get somebody else to replace him before he leaves. That kind of stuff. So it's a serious problem. In all honesty, it's a serious one, and there's no motivation for most people to stay. even for the kind of people that work with us, that they believe in the vision and all of that, a
Wow.
number of people will have decide and leave the
Mm.
place.
Mm.
You understand? Because when you look at everything, insecurity, bad road, and a number of things, you feel like, why am I still here? You know,
Mm.
and what's the future of this place that we are in? So, I believe it's a major one, and it's something that we should address as quickly as possible.
I think we
Mm.
should. I think we should.
I always like when I see that young people that came out of the street who are quite passionate
Mm.
about building something in Nigeria. But what do you think that, particularly in the tech space,
Yeah.
I was going to ask why they start, if you were to choose between two countries, you are Nigeria, probably. So, if what do you think the Nigerian government or the Nigerian ecosystem can do to incentivize largely the tech world? Tech is the new oil
Yes.
Yeah.
to stay.
Mm.
What do you think that, okay, if government did for guys like
Yeah.
you would not be complaining too much?
Mm.
I think that's a big one, but
Mm.
let me start with this. I think for every Nigerian, we all deserve a better life. Let's start with our what they call social amenities. Let's have those ones first.
Okay.
You see, one of the reasons some people will leave the country is because of insecurity.
Mm.
Because I want to live in a place where I can work at by 11 p.m. and I'm sure that nothing will happen to me.
Mm.
I want to be in a place where we see police and I won't be scared of,
Mm.
okay, I can't drive past them.
Mm.
Mm.
You understand? That's some of the reason why some people leave. Not even something too major.
Mm.
Something as simple as
Simple life.
police brutality,
Mm.
good road.
Mm.
You know, security. You want to go to a place, you want to live in a very serene environment,
Yeah.
and you are scared of all these hoodlums or, coming to your place.
Mm.
So I feel if you take care of those ones first, then we can now talk about the higher, bigger issues. Maybe okay, making it easy for anybody to go into tech, and making it easy for indigenous tech companies to actually grow. Because when a tech company grows, that's when they can increase the income or the salaries of their staff.
Yeah.
You understand? So I feel those are some of the major things that we have to work on when it comes to retaining people in this country.
Mm.
Without doing that, people will keep living.
Mm.
Okay. Now, I'm glad we're talking about people
Mm.
staying here, living, and all that. Now, if you look at it, I feel like Nigeria is currently in a place where there are two angles to it. Some people see the fact that, for instance, a lot of companies are leaving.
Yeah.
I think Microsoft recently left Nigeria,
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
and they are leaving. But if you look at from the another side of it, another perspective, you see that a lot of companies are coming in. In the media space, for instance, I feel like I observe that virtually all major streaming platforms now
Yeah.
are currently in Nigeria. I mean, Netflix, Amazon, all these platforms are here. Now, let's even say maybe that's quite remote.
Mm.
Yeah.
Have you traveled through Lagos Ibadan Express recently?
Okay.
It's like you need to see the number of factories springing up
Infrastructure, yeah.
on that expressway,
Mm.
left and right. The last time I passed, because these are things I'm looking at, and I'm like, look at companies springing up. These are people investing money in this country, building factories
Tens of
that
millions,
probably they won't
hundreds
even
of millions,
start,
billions.
and they're probably projecting starting in 2-3
Yes.
years time.
Mm.
From your experience,
Yeah.
what do you think is happening? Where are we currently in this country? One angle, you are hearing people are leaving. Microsoft will tell you it's hard to do business in Nigeria.
Mm.
And on the other angle, you are seeing that people are bringing in money.
Should I leave or should I stay?
There's an hotel currently under construction in my estate.
Okay.
And I think the person, of course, is a foreign, is an abroad person.
Yeah.
And the speed at which that job is, that contract, construction is doing, that means this person he probably has a vision already, like, okay, we are taking off, and even in Ibadan.
Yeah, sure.
So what do you think is happening and I want to hear, at least you are in the field, you're an expert, you have a system that operates globally and also, very relevant on the home front. What do you think is happening in Nigeria? What should somebody take home? Maybe a young entrepreneur. What should we take currently? What should I be living currently in Nigeria?
Okay, so I think here's the thing. You see, in any kind of economy that exists in the world, anybody that wants to do business will do business.
Hmm. Wow, that's
Whether it
deep.
is good or bad economy. Even there's this saying that the best time to build a business in times like this.
Hmm.
This is
Wow.
the time to actually build stuff.
Wow.
Because this is the time that you will be like you're in a monopoly, so to speak. When people that you're competing with leave, you are the only one left. Do you
Wow.
understand? That's
Yeah.
another angle to look at it from.
Hmm.
So for smart people, smart guys, this is the time to actually build. This is the time to build because at the end of the day, when people now come up again, they will meet you there. The other players coming on board, you will be like, you'll be the first person in the market.
Yes.
You understand? So it's dicey kind of, you know. We have people like Microsoft leaving, but as much as they are leaving, they are giving opening up a gap for you to actually
To
come
fill.
in.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
You
that's
understand?
true.
So if you have the capital and you still have a kind of okay, I have this kind of market idea that will work in Nigeria. Why not?
Yeah.
The interesting thing is that people will still need your product.
Mm.
Like for us now, people will still use our product. I was in an interview earlier today, and the guy asked that how has the economy affected us? I said some of the stuff on our platform are essential. They are not luxury products. Like on our platform, you do payments from bills, airtime, data. You do all of those stuff. These are
Yeah.
stuff that everybody do every day.
Yeah.
There's no single day you know make a call
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
browse the internet.
True.
So whatever happens in Nigeria, people still do those kind of stuff. So those kind of business still works. We have our collection problem solution that it's on one app. If you want to receive money from the US or wherever now, you can easily go on this platform, use your payment link to receive money. These are stuff people still need.
True.
So even more now because we now have more people that want to work with their international clients
Yes.
than their Nigerian clients. The other problem will now be how will I get paid? And that's where we step in. Do you understand? So there's nothing that happens in any country, in any economy that doesn't give room for some people to exist.
Wow, that's amazing. That's very brilliant. Now, having established that, okay, so there's still opportunities.
Yeah, sure.
There's still prospects. Now, what are the things? And I want it to be in two ways now, because we have probably listeners who are like, okay, both the young, maybe startups, or someone who is a young person trying to start a small scale business, and probably instead of using that money to travel abroad, maybe you can start something. I want to encourage them to wait before you travel. Try and somebody, Oga or Napa said there is something needed right now. So maybe he wants to use his money to start. At the same time, we also have the people who are heavy duty investors. Now, what are the things that these kind of people, both parties, can put in place to safeguard their investment, to safeguard their existence, their business, or how should they think? What kind of mindset do they need to work with establishing something in this economy?
Okay, so I think for this particular one, you need to be very practical. Things are expensive, and I should take it from this angle. Actually, even when things are not too expensive, you must know the amount of money you have to work with.
Okay.
Let's say you have 5, 10, 20 million to start up a business. You do not want to compete with somebody that have 100 million to do the same business.
Yes.
I think these are some of the stuff that kills business faster. You don't want to go on billboard when you don't have money to sustain it. If it's only Facebook ads you can run, just do it. So as much as possible, make sure you still have capital to keep your business lit.
Yeah.
Because if you run out of money, you run out of your business is dead. So it's better if anybody starting any business right now, you have to be very strategic in how you spend. Because if you are not strategic enough, you'll be in problem faster than you can imagine. So that's the thing for me. So, but no problem. Anybody can come into the space. You see, one thing about life is that there's this thing about luck too in business. You can start it now, and you get investors. You can actually pitch to people and raise some money, and you're able to move as fast as possible. Or you could even start slow. Before you know it, a year, 6 months after, you pick up and things start coming in. So it's no big deal.
Now, I was going to actually come to that.
Mm.
Have you, as your business, do you have any maybe seed funding, foreign investment, and how did you? If, I don't know if it's something you mind talking about, because I mean we are also here to people want to learn,
Yeah.
right? And
Mhm.
we have people who also will like, okay, I have this idea, but I don't know if the kind of capital I have can sustain it. What are things? How can people secure the, I don't know, they call them something, some angel
Venture
investment,
capitalists, angel
angel
investors.
investors,
Yeah,
venture
yeah.
capitalists. What is it like? Is it something that you, are there things that you can recommend? You know, how people can go through this platform to enhance their business.
Okay. So we know that for every business, there's always need for money.
Yes.
So how should I start this now? So let's put it this way. Depends on the kind of business. So how much do you need to even start? So the first money you will raise will be from friends and family.
Yeah.
So that's what we call friends and family around. So I call my brother, hey bro, Shegun, I need X amount of money. Okay, this is the amount I can afford. I give it that to you.
Yeah.
Maybe that first capital you are gathering will be for you to start up, probably rent a small space, maybe very small place, or even start in your bedroom, wherever it is.
Yeah.
Just put up a website or advert that okay, we have built this solution and all of that. That's the first thing you want to raise,
Yeah.
friends and family. So when you've done that, you want to go to the market, and this is what I will advise people: don't go to venture capital until you are sure that okay, this idea makes sense and it's going to generate revenue.
Prospect.
Do you understand? So the second thing you want to do is okay, you go to the market, you try to test it out. Okay, do people even need my solution? We have a number of solutions today that people do that nobody needs. You actually have to test. Okay, this thing I'm building. Sometimes it's better to even start a barbering salon than trying to build a tech firm.
Wow.
If your tech firm will not solve people's problem, just go and do what people need. At the end of the day, it's for people to be happy.
Yes.
Like YC will say, do what people want. It is very simple and straightforward.
Wow.
So go to the market, test. When you are sure that okay, this will make sense, then you cannot go for okay, let me raise from angel investors. This way you cannot go to platform and say okay, we want to raise pre-seed. We call it pre-seed. That's money that you get before you start making revenue. So you raise some amount of money. We've raised that before, right? So you raise pre-seed, and then you use that to scale, maybe to make it a little more fancier, all of that. Do all of this PR. Then you start getting customers, sign up, start generating revenue. As soon as possible, when you start generating revenue, you can start looking at okay, we should raise seed, maybe 6 months, 1 year after, and then to scale the business. Yeah, so it's like that. And how do you get those ones? It starts from LinkedIn, starts from anywhere. Connect with people, go to events, work with other startups. Another thing I should mention for anybody starting business is consider partnerships too.
Okay.
Yeah, you won't be able to get everything done yourself. Like for us now, we encourage a lot of partnership. Work with people. There are people that are connected to us to offer their solution. Especially in our space, you will not get all the license you need at start. The cost of some of these licenses is not something you can you can get to have. You understand? So you want to work with existing platforms.
Okay.
I can tell you for free, when you see all of us in the fintech space and banks, we are all in one basket. We are all interconnected.
Yeah.
So if you are using one bank and you say one fintech is better, we just slap at you. Because we know that all we do is to work with each other to actually provide a solution to make it available.
Wow.
So if you need something, walk up to a fintech firm, walk up to a bank, ask for partnership, and that's how you start. You don't necessarily need so big a capital. Because if you are gunning for, okay, I want to first of all raise $10 million, $2 million before I start, you won't start anything. When you are not Steve Jobs or any of these foreign guys, you won't start. Some people only raise $100,000 and they are still fine. Yeah, they are still fine, they are still existing. And we have seen people that raise $80 million, they are dead. So it's not even about the amount of capital you raise. It's about how strategic you are in how you manage the funds.
That's a beautiful take home. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
To everyone listening, Mr. Opeyemi Paul Adekunle is our guest. He's the CEO of One App Technologies. And one thing you can take home for what you have just said right now is that it's okay to dream big, but be ready to start small, start raising your funds from friends and family. And then now, this is my next question. What you said right now is quite rich. Do you have plans to mentor youngsters on how to start up and grow a business and make it thrive in an ecosystem like Nigeria? because a lot of people are creative, a lot of people are passionate, a lot of people. I want to enter Nollywood. I want to enter fintech. All right, and when you talk to um, 16-year-olds, 20-year-olds, they're effervescent with lots of creative ideas, but most people don't even know when to start, where to start. Do you have plans, or is there something in the pipeline right now concerning
Mentorship.
mentoring youngsters about starting something and growing it?
Yeah, interesting. I don't know we are going to have this question, but I've been having this idea of this mentorship thing since the beginning of the year.
Wow.
So, but what we started doing now is that we started working on a video blog.
Mm,
So, we am going to be sharing my ideas about entrepreneurship,
that's
um,
amazing.
That's
tech,
really amazing.
and some other things
Mm.
about life. So, that's available. Just Google my name. There's a YouTube channel that we are going to be putting all of this content. That's what we're going to be doing. By next year, I might be doing some kind of a close group mentorship with people
Okay.
where we can actually have a one-on-one discussion where we see to, okay, this work I did that I didn't do well. This is the one that I did and I think it was
Mm.
fine, and we can emulate. So
Okay,
uh,
in line with that,
yeah.
I'm glad that you mentioned the fact that now you're considering that because it's important. We need to raise the next generation of entrepreneurs. Now, what's the role of mentorship? Before we can just say, oh, okay, you're starting this and you want people to,
Yeah.
to come on board. Maybe you want people to see, but then they must understand the role of the mentorship process itself. Now, what's the role from your angle? And did you personally have mentors? Did you have people that, or do you still have people that you,
Uh,
are they people that, and what's your relationship with them? How has it been impactful to your growth process?
Yeah. So to answer the last question first, surely I still have mentors, and
Mm.
I talk to my mentors nearly every now and then, because you can't actually go in this kind of space without having somebody to guide you.
Mm.
One of and the good thing about having mentors is that they hold your hand to cross some of the most difficult parts. There are some places that if you want to get to and you really do not know what to do next.
Mm.
So you just have to speak to them and they share with you, oh, guy, don't do it this way, do it this or that way. So I still have mentors that I talk to every now and then.
Mm.
The role of mentor to me is actually to walk with you in your journey. It's not to dictate to you what you must do, but they can advise.
Mm.
So that's why in tech, because some people advise us. If you look at the team profile, you see it's a particular section for advisors. Their job is that you reach out to them. Okay, this is what we want to do. We want to add this feature to our platform. They say, oh, why do you want to do this? How about this?
Mm.
And I can look at it again and say, oh, okay, that's right. So that's the thing.
Now, how do you merge your corporate life with your personal life? And I'm saying this because you are in an industry where you have to be, your business has to run 24/7, right? If, for example, you were in film, you can decide, okay, I'm dropping 2 movies in 1 year, I'm taking a break, I want to go on vacation. But you have to, I mean, I've had to call bank customer care lines at odd hours. So, how do you balance both, where you are available to your online clients
Mm.
and you can also have a rich personal life?
You see, and I think this is one of the reasons for mentorship too, because you must actually build structure into whatever it is that you are doing. For us now, what we make sure to do is we have structured everything that we are doing. As I am here now talking to you, the office is doing fine.
Wow.
So I can take a day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 week break, and they are good. So everybody knows what to do. The system knows what to do. If I have to not be available, the right person to step in knows what to do. So that's how it works.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is still 60 Minutes with Femi and Remi. Please note that you can call in to ask questions or join us in this conversation. The studio phone lines are 0916 893 1000 and 0916 893 2000. Once again, 0916 893 1000 and 0916 893 2000. Mr. Opeyemi Paul Adekunle is our guest. He is the CEO of One App Technologies, a fintech firm. So,
Hello, good evening, sir.
hello, good evening. Welcome to 60 Minutes with Femi and Remi.
And Simone, I want to ask a question, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
The app, can I download it on Play Store?
Yes, sure. It's on Play Store. It's on App Store.
Sir?
Yeah, the app is available on Play Store and it's on App Store.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Now, your business, as you said, you mentioned the fact that you have a system where even when you're not physically there, you have people. Everybody knows what they do. How has it been like working with talents, local talents, hands here, people that workers generally, because that's also one major thing as an entrepreneur you have to deal with. Working, managing people, working with people. Probably some even come as raw talent, and then you have to just
Refine them.
them.
Yeah.
You have to bring the vision and how do I put it, the brand ideals, make them understand it's a process,
Yeah.
and sometimes it can be daunting because even after sometimes you train some people, and when they're already doing quite well, that's when they leave because they realize, oh, now I have the potential. They may even take your whatever to go and bargain somewhere else for another firm.
Yeah.
How has it been like? Because it's an integral part of sustaining a business. You can't do it alone.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest thing that you need to consider starting a business, because I feel like the strength, the success of any product or for any company depends on the people in that company.
True.
Vice has an idea that they invest in team, not in product, and why they say that is because they believe that a smart team can always iterate on the product, but a bad team, nothing will happen. The product usually die.
Wow.
So for me personally, what I do when it comes to building team is to actually sell the vision to the person first. You must be interested in what we are doing before you join our team. There must be something in you that actually want you to do what you want to do. So if I talk to my developers, and the first question is, why are you guys in development? Why are you in software development? Why not artists? Why are you in movies and all of that? And you answer the questions sincerely, like, okay, So these are some of the stuff that actually guide how we pick the people that work with us at One Up, such that we are looking out for passion to actually do this, and we're not looking out for why you come into a fintech firm, why not something else, maybe edtech. Do you understand? If you want edtech, we can easily refer you to other edtech, but for fintech, and we train people. We have people that have joined us before as intern, maybe IT student from schools.
Okay.
That we later they came back to join us as a full-time staff.
Wow.
Yeah, we have a number of them. Yeah.
That's good. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, our guest is Mr. Opeyemi Paul Adekunle. He is a financial technology expert, and I want to point out, in case he has talked about mentoring, and he has established that he's quite passionate about it. If you would like to reach him, you can call me, Femi, on 08069331473, or call Remi on 08166057930. I'll take that again. My number is 08069331473, and Remi 08166057930. If you call us, we'll link you up with his webinar sessions that he's planning to start. He's also open to start a closed group session if you are raw, if you know that you have bubbly ideas in your head and you would love refinement. You want someone who is going to take you on the journey, how to start up a tech firm in Nigeria. Mr. Opeyemi Paul Adekunle is one person that I think you should talk to.
Yes. So there's a question that I've been thinking of, and this is particular to tech. Fintech is not just any tech. Fintech is money, and fintech requires a great deal of security. So it's going to be two questions. Now, number one is, how do you put security in place to protect, people's funds, people's identity? Because there's a lot of, I can see that right now, there's even a lot of, how do I put it? There's a lot of awareness going on in terms of privacy policy and all those things. How do you put that in place? How do you secure that? How do you give people that level of, okay, you can trust us with your identity, with you, because I'm sure you will probably be taking people's NIN, VPN, all those things. How do you put those security checks in place? And the second one is now a bit broad. Sadly, Nigeria has been labeled heavily again, has a with too much fraudulent,
Yeah. Mhm.
fraudulent activities,
Mm.
and Yahoo boys.
There is a perception
There's a
problem.
perception problem in that regard. But you are in a place where you're talking fintech, we're talking security, we're talking moving people's money.
Mm.
How has it been like, especially when you have to interface with foreign companies?
I love that.
Mm.
I love this question. The two questions,
Mm.
like, beautiful. Let me take it from the second one, which is about how we are dealing with fraud and
Mm.
how they've labeled Nigeria as a fraud infested
Mm.
nation, because that's actually it.
Mm.
And I must tell you for free, it's no joke.
Mm.
We having to deal with international firm, it's a tug of war.
Mm.
Wow.
What they do not require from other people, they ask us. They practically ask for everything. Before you can deal with a US firm, that got you. Like for us now at one now, that's one of the stuff we are proud about, that we are able to help Nigerians to collect money.
Mm.
It's not something that most people can actually get, because
Mm.
the kind of KYC we went through,
Mm.
checks and all of that before we got the approval, is
Mm.
not joke.
Mm.
And I will say this, let me face the younger people like myself. The truth is that you can make money in tech outside of fraud.
Mm.
There's a lot of money in tech. Leave fraud and face the real tech. There's more money in tech than the one that you're getting through fraud.
Mm.
Mm.
I'm telling you.
Wow.
But and I should also mention this to people in the bigger community, maybe international community, that not everybody in Nigeria is a fraudster.
Of
Mm.
course. Mm.
Yeah, not everybody is
Yeah.
because I think there's this thing that we have all painted that, okay, when you see a Nigerian, the first thing that comes to your mind is, hey,
Mm.
these
Mm.
guys are here. No.
Mm.
Yeah, we know there are some bad eggs, as it
Yeah.
is with every other country.
Yes.
In US, they do have their own bad eggs
Yes,
too.
they do.
Exactly.
They have every other country. So if you see a Nigerian, stop labeling us as fraudsters.
Mm.
We are actually good people. We just have some small bad eggs.
Mm.
So that's one. I should say this to younger ones. Let's get the right direction, get the right mentorship. I've seen some people getting the wrong advice around why they join fraud and
Mm.
do all sorts of stuff that they do. It really doesn't always turn out good.
Mm.
Mm.
It doesn't turn out good. So get the right advice on this and do what's right. That's that. On the second question about security of funds, to us at one app, you see, why I said I love the question so much is because I've been a backend engineer now for over 10 years.
Mhm.
So after working on backend solutions, I've done cybersecurity myself. And if there's any critical stuff I will tell any developer is you have to put security first
Mm.
in anything you are building.
Mm.
There's a course we take in the office every now and then, we call it secure coding. So you have to take the secure coding, you have to go through the OWASP top 10 rules in security, make sure that all your code pass all of this checklist, That's just a routine one. Another thing for us at OneUp is that we do not just stay at that. We go for certifications that make sure we are seriously secured.
Mm.
I had to add the word seriously because there are some certification we got today that most fintech will not get or do not get because it's not that required. But we have to take the extra step to go get them.
Yeah.
One
Wow.
of such is, like now, we have NDPR, Nigeria Data Protection Regulation, we have that one. Now, the major one is the PCI DSS certification. We have that, meaning that we have the same certification that the biggest of fintech all over the world, not Nigeria now,
Wow.
Mm.
have.
Wow.
So that's the one that we have, and we have the latest one, the version 4,
Mm.
level
Wow.
1. So for us at Mona, we are very big on security.
Mm.
As a person that loves security, you should know that you can't come to my firm and you'll be joke with security.
Mm.
To us, that's the first thing you must first of all pass in your interview to join
Wow.
our development team. And all our structure is all about security first. How does this secure our customers?
Mm.
How does this secure for us as a platform?
Mm.
And how does it secure the general population? People using something like identity, we have seen a lot in the country, but our system has been beaten. That's why we are still alive. In all honesty, I've seen people reach out to me that their platform shut down because of some infiltration of some bad
Oh,
actors.
God.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah, it happens a lot. Do you know the number of fintech that come up every day?
Mm.
And a number shut down every day.
Wow.
Because if you don't know how to do this thing well, if you start yesterday, today, you'll be out there asking people what's going on.
Hmm.
So that's the thing for us. That's the thing for us. So for us, security is number one. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's really, really amazing.
Yeah.
So there was something, something I remember when I was looking at. And you are able to sell this to your developers very well.
Ah, it's not even about selling. This part is it's a compulsion. Like you have to actually pass this test.
Hmm.
Like you have to this is something that you we have to see because there's something I discuss. I have a discussion with my team that the moment we fail in this part, then we fail as a business. If someone comes to our platform and is able to do some bad stuff, we won't be able to open shop tomorrow.
Hmm.
So we better keep our doors well shut today. Yeah.
So for me, there's, I mean, I want us to also be factual.
Yeah.
Let's not be. Has there been any time
Yeah.
where you had one experience that almost made you give up? If it's something you don't, you can share with us. And how did you, you know, scale through that challenge?
Okay. So generally in business, right?
Generally,
Yeah, generally in business.
Yeah, sure. If you're in Nigeria, you know, and you say you literally want to give up nearly every day. Like you really want to give up every day. But I think when you ask the question, the scenario that came to my mind straight was I think 2 years ago we were trying to raise fund. You couldn't raise, so at that time I was very tired and I feel like man, I can't do this again. Like, but I'm just glad that we have the best of team members in the firm that we work together. We all looked at it's okay. This is the challenge. What can we do? I'm scared through.
Hmm.
Right now we live on our own revenue and we are doing fine. You understand? So, and that's one of the stuff I was talking about mentorship. So you see, sometimes business is not straightforward. Things happen. You may feel like you get this at 6 months, or you get this after a year, and you don't get it. So what's your contingency plan at that when that happens? You know, so that's the thing.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is 60 Minutes with Femi and Remi. Our guest, Mr. Opeyemi Paul Adekunle, is still here. If you have any question, we have a few minutes before we wrap up. The number to call is 0916-893-1000 and 0916-893-2000. 0916-893-1000 and 0916-893-2000.
Yes. So final question from me. What is your take on loans to run business, and particularly fintech business or tech-powered business?
Every business takes loan.
Okay.
So everybody takes loan. It's just what you use the loan for that's is more critical, you know. One of the study I advise in any capital giving firm is you don't use a loan to start a business in quotes, or you use it to expand a business. Reason being that a number of times you don't know the outcome of a new business. So I think that's it. That's why when I was describing source of capital for new ventures, it should be first from friends and
Friends and
family.
families.
Mm.
The reason being that you can easily go back to your friends and family and say, guy, uncle,
I
that
tried my
money,
best."
I can't for it again, you know. So, but you can't go to GT and to any bank and say, your money, I can't pay it. No. So, the best thing is you want to start first, grow and scale. And when you know that, okay, you've tested what everything is fine, then you can apply for external capital and use that to scale.
Okay. So loan for scaling, not starting the business. Okay.
Yes, this has been 60 minutes with. Oh, okay, we have a call. Hello. 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 We can hear you. Alrighty. This has
call
been
back.
60 minutes with Femi and Remi. Our guest has been Mr. Opeyemi Paul Adekunle, the CEO of One App Technologies. He has taught us so many things in the past 60 minutes. But if you would like to have a much more robust session with him, you can call me on 08069331473 or call Remy on 081 I'll take that again. My number is 08069331473 and Remy's number is 081 Do you want to learn how to get into the tech space? Do you want to learn how to start a business? Do you want to learn how to circumnavigate the challenges of doing business in the Nigerian ecosystem? You can subscribe to Mr. Opeyemi Paul Adekunle's mentoring session, which will be starting shortly. Thank you so much for the wisdom you've shared with us. We are grateful to have you. It's been a very enriching session.
Very. Thank you so much for having us, and I'm sure we've also learned quite a lot personally.
Yes.
And we hope that if we need to call you next time, you would be sure to
Definitely,
oblige.
definitely. I love that this is even close to us.
Yeah,
It's just a stone throw away. So
Hello. Oops, we lost that too. So, thank you so much. This has been 60 Minutes with Femi and Remi. Join us next week, Tuesday, for another enlightening session. Mr. Opeyemi Paul Adekunle, one word just before you go.
if there's anything I will tell anybody, just keep doing what you are doing and do it well. Thank you. God bless
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
See
you
you
so
next
much.
week.
Yeah. See you.
FM, your preferred wholesome